want to tell you about a couple buildings over here. First, I want to talk about this big red building. This was our customs house. In the early 1800s, Congress had decided any salvaged goods from U.S. waters had to be brought through a U.S. port of entry. So, here we had our first, in Key West, the first port of entry in the south of Florida. So, this building had to be reconstructed. In 1886, we had a building on Duval. It was a wooden building, customs house, and there was a huge fire in 1886, and it kind of took out a whole section of Duval right there. We had one fire truck at the time. That one fire truck was in New York being maintenance. So we had 0 fire trucks at that time, actually. This customs house was built in the 1891. It was back when U.S. any kind of like government building was built. It had to have that Romanesque feel to it. It cost about $100,000 with 1 million bricks. Bricks weren't a big thing down here, but after the big fire, bricks kind of became a bigger thing. As you'll see when we turn the corner here, a lot more brick buildings were put in place. Well, that was a lot of bricks. 1 million bricks had to be put out, so 16 fireplaces. That helped with some of the brick. Not really needed down here, but it helped put some of the brick up. As well as another thing that the Romanesque, the slate roofs. Also not needed here, but up in the mainland, the slate roofs were probably necessary, not in Key West. Today that building is being used by the Key West Art and Historical Society. The bottom floor changes into some different history, and the top second floor there is Henry Flagler. It's dedicated to him and his railroad bridge building process that he had. Over here, this building is our Maritime Museum. Is anyone familiar with Mel Fischer? Mel Fischer, he was the ultimate treasure hunter. I love his story. He loved it so much. He got his family to love it. His kids, anyone that wanted to be a treasure hunter with him, they had the same passion and love that they could tell from Mel Fischer. Well, Mel Fischer was searching for the Atocha. The Atocha was a group of boats from back in the early 1600s. They were all coming over, and a hurricane hit. Well, down they all went with all of these incredible treasures. They sank to the bottom. Well, hurricanes have moved and things, and well, that Mel Fischer didn't give up, and he just kept searching. He searched every day. He would wake up, he would tell his crew and his people and his family, today is the day. He said it over and over. I even heard that they had shirts made that said today is the day, and people would laugh because he searched for like 16 years. People started to believe that he was just crazy. Well, he wasn't, and he did it right, and he found the mother lode. And because he did everything right, he was sued. He was sued by Florida, he was sued by Spain, he was sued by everyone. Everyone wanted a piece of that. He was actually, one of his cases was taken all the way up to the Supreme Court, and he won. Which kind of changed everything. So back when it used to be finders keepers, if you found anything, it then became, if you found something so close to said state, say it was Florida, then that belongs to the state of Florida. If it's out past that, then you could take ownership of it. Well, also, in this lawsuit, it made it to where he had to present some of these artifacts and these treasures to the people to remain keeping them. Upstairs there, they have archaeological department, and up there they keep the sea. They take off all the things that erode from the sea and from the air, and they bring it back, because it's definitely a whole process. It's not just finding the treasure. You have to do all the things to keep it out for the world. Also, there was a big gold bar that used to be kept in there, and you used to be able to put your hands in it and lift it and feel it and all the things. Well, back in 2010, a couple guys just walked in broad daylight when the museum was open and walked right out with it. They were found later in 2018, and they had been charged. It had a 1/16 left, and they were charged with a couple years. No big deal, apparently. I mean, or was it? I don't know. We'll see. Well, now we'll move along.